gonna tear it up, but don't you know? I said, don't you know? You and me gonna smash it in, don't you know? I said, don't you know? 'Cause all the time.
Just like to welcome everyone to the first press conference in London, because we've already had one, for the November the 30th fight at Aintree, British and Commonwealth title defence of David Price against former champion Matt Skelton. This will be the final press conference up until the week of the fight, the Wednesday before the fight, as both guys are sort of going off to training camp now. David's going off to Portugal, I believe. Matt set up a training camp, I won't tell me where it is, so I can't bother him. So I've got them both here together for you to have a quick chat with them, see how they're both going and what to expect on November the 30th.
Matt, where's your training camp?
My back garden. No, there's no training. we're staying local. We're just probably bringing some guys in, to be honest with you. We've got our own place up in Bedford, so it's convenient for everybody concerned, and we just bring the guys in and put them up until the duration of the fight. There's no secret hideout, no cave nowhere.
Matt, what are your thoughts on people calling this a mismatch, saying you don't deserve a fight?
Absolutely, you know, look, you can see why I came into the game late. In terms of, I suppose, boxing or sport in general, sort of people think I'm past it, which I can fully understand. But in actual fact, it's nice for me because there's no pressure on me. You know, I turned pro at 35, and on my 10th fight I fought for an English title. My 13th fight I fought for British and Commonwealth, and ever since then I've been fighting for titles, and it's kind of like the pressure's been onto me. For once now, I'm kind of enjoying my training more than ever, and enjoying the fact that people are looking at me at that. It's kind of like giving me a bit more to fight for, if you want. And you know, I'm working alongside Mark now. I mean, I've always been with Kevin, he's still my trainer, but I work alongside Mark as well. It helps my conditioning. And I look back over the years when I've done it and won titles. I kind of just done what I want to an extent, if that makes sense. And
can we just hold up one sec? We just two of the later rivals of the press have just turned up, so we can start again.
Boxing confidence started on time.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just
Thank you for that.
I feel better now, and not better now than ever, but I feel good, and I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't feel that I could do it, if that makes sense. And it's not an issue to me. In everything you look at, there's always an underdog, and if it's me, so be it.
So, I mean, you went through a period of inactivity. Did you think this chance had been gone by now?
No, to be honest with you, I was we always ticked over in the gym. I've always been in the gym. I like the gym work. I'm always in there at some level, keep myself to a reasonable condition. Then obviously you have to up your training, change things for a fight, which is understandable. But we were sort of, I think it was about a year ago, we were scratching around. We went to Ireland to try and get a rematch with Robin. There, sat down, press conference, nothing happened. Then got promised this fight, nothing come of that. And then Kevin was out I think he was out in Vegas when he was, and Frank asked if I was still active and so forth. And he said, well, Matt's still in the gym. And he said to me, there's a fight there with Tom Dallas. If you come through that, which at the time I think Tom Dallas was, you know, he was a good prospect, if that makes sense. And I watched him and I thought, I want the fight. I know what I need to do to beat him, and so be it. And we've just gone on, and like we were just saying, sort of laughing about it to ourselves a year ago. Like I said, we were scratching around, and in less than a year on, I'm now fighting for a British and Commonwealth title against a very hot prospect who people are looking at to go on and do great things. So to me, I'm over the moon about it.
I mean, when you lost to Rogan, that was a hard fight, a good fight. But did you think after you lost that maybe your best days were perhaps behind?
No, you know, there's no good crying over spilt milk, or talking about this, that, and the other. You know, I knew when I fought Rogan, and the truth be known, all the team around me told me not to take that fight. You know, I'd lost my mum and buried her 2 weeks before, and probably mentally I weren't in the fight, and I was just going through the motion and so forth and so forth. But it's such as life, you know. If you have a mishap, you've got to go to work, and that's how I saw it. And I suppose being a fighter, your pride sometimes takes over, and you sort of sit down and think you don't want to let people down, because the build up to the fight, tickets have been sold, so forth. So I went over it, and you know, honestly, you know, Kevin is not here, but he told me not to take the fight. He told me to pull out the fight. So did my family and so forth. But you know, being pig-headed, sub or whatever you want to call it, I went ahead, and the end result wasn't good. But like I said, I'm not crying over spilt milk. You just got to move on. So I had 2 years almost of inactivity, as you say it, through one thing or another, personal issues, and then and then I came back.
You had a defeat abroad.
Yeah.
Looking at you today, you look fitter than you did then.
Yeah, again, I say thanks to this man. You know, whether it because of like I said, I came into the game no amateur background. I didn't put on a pair of gloves for any fighting sport till the age of 21. Spoke to a lot of fighters previously, they were doing stuff at the age of 10. I was playing rugby, that was my first love. 21, started kickboxing, went over, fought undefeated in England, went to Japan, fought over there, and then I came here, and I've always got through it by doing what I want, if you want, and not eating right, not putting in 100%. I used to fight on the K1, win a fight, and not go back to the gym for 3 weeks, sort of thing. And it's having the right people around you. We train now, we finish our session. Before I leave the gym, there's something prepared for me to eat. I eat that. We sit out, we're going to the gym if I'm working hard and Mark or Kevin says, Matt, you're looking a bit jaded, we'll cut the session short and we're going to rest. I didn't look at rest as an important factor of training, whereas now I do. I listen to my body a lot, obviously, and touch wood, you know, it's working for me, and I do feel good, yeah, and still feel positive. Obviously, my age, people say probably shouldn't be fighting, but I know age is an issue, but not necessarily to me. I do feel fit, I still feel strong, and I'm still eager and hungry to continue fighting.
What do you expect to weigh for the fight?
About 19.5 stone.
And the other leg?
To be honest with you, weight is an issue. We train hard, and if I hit the scales on that day at 17.4, so be it. If I hit them at 17 stone, so be it. I'm not trying to make weight. I'm trying to be fit, and if I'm fit and I'm eating properly and I come in at 17.4, so be it. But you know, at the minute I think I'm walking around about 17.3, 17.2, which is I feel good at.
You saw what this man did to Audley.
Yeah.
You got to be impressed by that.
Look, I never underestimate no one. You can look at her. You know, if I myself was going to go and fight Audley, I wouldn't have took it for granted. At the end of the day, they're big guys in there. They're all big guys, you know, and you can't overlook anyone because otherwise you come unstuck. What I've seen of David so far, obviously, is impressive, but I also believe that the guys he's fought have allowed him to almost dictate the fight, and I think, you know, I was there at ringside when he knocked Audley out, and it was a very impressive shot. And you know, Audley, I think, was coming at it, was standing on the outside, and sometimes, you know, you kind of have to think to yourself, hang on, I'm in a fight, let's get in the fight, you know, because it's the same as, I don't know, if no one wants to take the initiative and push the issue, then it becomes a 50-50. One person has to kind of take the fight, and you know, and I think that I haven't seen that yet.
David, Matt said that pressure's not on him. Do you feel as though there's always on you as a result?
Yeah, well, I think every fight I have going forward, I'm going to have a lot of pressure on me because there's a lot of hype surrounding me at the moment, and that was the same in my last fight, and it's going to be the same in this fight. But it's a welcome type of pressure. It's the type of pressure that I take as a compliment, that I have got some kind of expectancy on me. If no one expected me to do it, then I'd be doing something wrong. So yeah, the pressure is on, but it's a welcome feeling.
Do you expect Matt to cause you more problems than Audley?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Matt Skelton is, everyone knows he's a fighting man. You know, he's a fighter. That's what he does, and he's not going to come in and shy away from a fight. He's going to come and want to actually have a fight and take me out of my comfort zone and whatever else. But of course I'm expecting a tough fight, and you know, I don't think there's anyone who's worthy out there in the UK at the moment, the way things are, to challenge for me British title and the Commonwealth title. To be honest, he's had the 3 good wins, 3 stoppages. He's in good form. He's got previous form where he's fought for a world title, European champion, and he's held these titles as well. So it's a great fight for me. I think definitely a great fight going forward.
How pleased are you to be getting back in the ring so quickly after the last fight?
Yeah, it's different, to be honest. It's a little bit different from usual because I'd normally have more of a switch off period where I can come down from the high and get back into the gym, but I've had to, it's been a little bit more congested because it's a quick turnover, but again, I'm happy because I'm keeping busy, and all fighters want to keep busy, obviously, especially if your last fight was, you know, only half a round long.
You feel, sorry.
What about Tyson Fury? He's been putting eliminated for the world title. Is there a rush with him?
Tyson Fury's not any concern of ours at the moment. He's got his own fight, let him get on with it. If Tyson Fury wants to fight us, or find a winner of this fight, they can pick up the telephone. You know, let them get on with it. And it's not a final eliminator. He's got about 3 eliminators to get there, so I think his promoter's trying to throw him in. But let's just get back to this fight.
Why was the fight arranged so quickly after the Oldenhausen match?
It was a date that we had scheduled in with Boxing Nation, wasn't it, December 1st, and you know, all being well with the Aldi fight, we were just going to fight again December 1st, and it was always going to be Matt as the opponent, because I think Matt, we were going to fight Matt in October, and then we swapped it with Aldi, and we were going to fight Matt after Aldi as well. So again, it's just it's an exciting fight for me because it's something different for me. You know, I think Matt will admit himself he's not your conventional type of boxer who would have met in the amateur game. He's different, he's rugged, he's rough. You know, he's going to come and try and upset the odds from there. You know, it's going to be a good challenge.
We're letting Twitter run his career because everyone on Twitter keeps saying he wasn't busy enough, so now we're making up for it.
Be ashamed to waste all that training as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, we had like a long camp for the Aldi Harrison fight, and although a lot of the wear on your body comes in the training camp, and the fight is at the end of it, so I did need a rest anyway. But that fitness is still there, and we just pick up where we left off and straight into it for this camp.
Right, you spoke before about the piece of jigsaw building David up for where you're hoping it'll go and how probably Harrison a bit about. Do you think Matt does as well?
Matt brings something that we haven't seen so far. Friday we talk about opponents all the time, and we discussed the opponent that could take David into sort of a boring atmosphere, someone that will be on his chest, will try and hit him in every part of his body, because I've worked with this man. I was the first man to see this guy come in the gym in the Old Kent Road when he wanted to go pro, and I'll be honest, I held my hands up and said I don't think he could make it, and my brother signed him, and then I went back to work with my brother, and they've done a fantastic job. They got him to British European, so he proved me wrong, you know, and I think he brings something to the table that he's never faced yet, and that's what's important about this part of this jigsaw. You know, he's going to have to face. He's like an old American throwback fighter, isn't he? Like Sonny Liston type fighter, and that's what we need now. I need David to know what it's like when you've got to dig deep to find that something extra, and I think Matt will bring that out of David.
Where are you going to training, Ken?
We're going to Portugal. I mean, normally we'd stay at home and get people up and just do things as normal, but I think with the fight being quick after the Aldi Harrison fight, spent 12 weeks in the same gym, same surroundings. We need a bit of a change of scenery just to freshen things up a little bit. I think that'll help. A little bit of nicer weather as well.
Any more questions?
David, how far do you think you're away from challenging for a world title in your own mind?
With the right fights and the right opponents, and I think, you know, Matt comes into that category where I'm going to learn something from a fight and get asked questions. I think as short as 3 or 4 fights, I believe I'll be ready. It could be like 12 months, but it's up to the team around me to take the reins off me, and when the time's right, they'll know. And obviously Frank's been there before, and, you know, knows when the time's right to push the button. So, you know, it's leave it to him. I'll just fight whoever's in front of me.
I mean, what I will say, that there would be, after this fight, you know, I have sat down with Franny and obviously spoke to David, and we've looked at British fighters. I'd like David to win the Lonsdale belt outright because I think it's a nice prestige thing. You know, Matt stepped up to the plate when we spoke about it, and you know, showed no fear. A number of other British fighters have run in the opposite direction. There would probably only be 2 British fighters we would look at, and if we didn't get one of them for February, we would look at taking a highly ranked American.
Those 2 are?
Well, one is obviously Tyson Fury, and the other one would be Richard Towers if he comes through, because I believe he's fighting an eliminator for the Commonwealth. He doesn't need to fight an eliminator, he could have just phoned me up and I put him straight in for the Commonwealth title. But maybe he just needs to build a little bit more confidence. If that's it, we'll just do one-to-ones.
You and me gonna tear it up, but don't you know? I said, don't you know? Gonna be smashing it in, don't you know? I said, don't you know?